Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my new video. I'm going to be talking about all things narcissism. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about Penguin. The character Penguin is a typical narcissist. If you haven't seen it already, it's worth watching. It's a very good show. And I will be having spoilers, so just be warned. So, what kind of narcissist is the Penguin? Well, it could be either malignant narcissist or a covert narcissist. But it pushes more towards the malignant one. Here are some of the characteristics that happen in the show and which are pretty real in real life as well. The first common trait amongst narcissists and with the penguin is being selfish. They want you all for themselves, and in the show, penguin wants his all his mother's love, so he gets rid of his brothers. He kills them just so his mother concentrates on him and gives him all her love. But at the end of the show, his mother did say to him, "I had enough love for all three of you. Why did you have to take them away from me?" The narcissist doesn't think like that. In real life, what narcissists will do, they will want you all for themselves. So they will try and get you to cut your links with your family, with your friends. Every time you want to meet your friends or your family, she'll make digs at you. She'll get angry, or it could be a he as well. Narcissism can be a he or a she, and they'll basically want you all for themselves, for their own selfish needs, for their own validation. So they're extremely, extremely selfish. They live through their lives for their own selfish needs. They don't think about other people. They have no empathy. So this is a very common trait. In the show, the penguin was abandoned by his father, so he didn't have any discipline growing up, didn't have any fatherly figure. So part of the fault lies with his mum as well, because she pretty much let him get away with anything. She gave him everything he wanted, gave him lots of love, spoilt him rotten. And when she found out that he killed his own brothers, she didn't punish him for it. Basically, because of that, he doesn't have any sorts of consequences. He doesn't know about how to deal with consequences, and this is one of the reasons why he is who he is today. I'm talking about the penguin, because of his mother's lack of showing discipline to a child, and the fact that he killed his own brothers and his mum did nothing and let him get away with it. That was a major issue, and why he is the way he is at the moment. And I think this is a major problem with single parent families. And this is why we also have a large generation of narcissists growing up, because a lot of them are born in single parent families, normally single mothers, because the child stay with the mothers, so they don't have a fatherly figure. They don't have the discipline. A child needs nurturing from the father and the mother for it to grow healthy. So unfortunately, there's a huge army of narcissists growing up in this world at the moment, and being set free in the world. So he also never cared for his mother. He just needed her approval. For example, there was one scene where his mother was getting her fingers cut, and for them to stop cutting his mother's finger, he had to tell the truth about his brothers, why he killed them, etc. But even though his mother's finger was being cut, he still didn't tell the truth. It's almost like he was enjoying his mother getting tortured, and he'd rather see his own mother suffer than speak the truth. And I think this is a very common trait with narcissists. They lie all the time, and they cannot admit they lie, because it's a they find it as a weak they find it very weak to admit to their lies, and the whole facade comes off, the whole mask comes off, and it's more important to them to keep the mask on than to see their own loved ones suffer. You know, they would rather see their loved ones suffer than to take off the mask. So it's extremely selfish and extremely vindictive and evil. And there was another part where he promised that if she turns into a vegetable, that he would basically kill her. She made him promise, and he promised, and he said, yeah, he will. And at the end of the show, she becomes a vegetable, but he keeps her alive. He keeps her alive in, basically next to the balcony window, where she looks through the window throughout her dying days. So he has no kind of empathy. There's no love, even for his own mother. He keeps his mother around just for his own validation and get validation from her. He even gets his girlfriend to pretend that that's his mother to give him validation. So he's quite an evil guy, but you got to give a lot of the blame to his mum as well. He doesn't have the second thing is there's no remorse, no heart or soul. He didn't feel any sadness killing his own brothers. He didn't feel any remorse. He didn't feel any guilt. He just doesn't have a heart or a soul. And I think a lot of narcissists are like that when they're in relationships. They basically in relationships just for validation and to use the other partner for their selfish needs. If it's a woman, she'll use the man for his resources. If it's a man, he'll use the woman for sex and other things. Narcissists are just in relationships just to get as much as they can from a relationship and not to give anything back or give minimum back, or very, very small amount or even hardly anything at all. And this is what they live for. Number 3, validation. Validation to narcissists is more important than love. They live through validation. They want their egos to be massaged. They hang around people who tell them they're great, they're amazing. They don't like to be around people who tell them the truth. They don't like to be around people who put them down. They always want to be around people that lift them up all the time, and this is how they find relationships. If you're a woman and you're extremely pretty, you'll find a guy who absolutely adores you because of your beauty and keeps being a simp towards you. If you're a guy and a girl does the same, it's pretty much the same. They basically live for validation. There's no heart or soul. There's not much they give. It's very selfish, one way, just using as much as they can from that person until the person's got nothing left, or until the person realizes that they're being used and they end it. So either way, it just ends badly. The penguin is also obsessed with his mother as well. There's a lot of obsession, very dark obsession. It's not love. For example, he gets his girlfriend to dress up like his mother and give him validation. He tortures his mother throughout the film, and even at the end, he keeps his mother alive just to have her around and just to gloat. And just for the validation purposes. Number 4, they like to use and abuse new supplies all the time. So whenever a new supply comes to give them the validation that they need, they'll use and abuse that person until they don't need that person anymore. They discard them. This can be whether they run out of resources, or they figured out who they are, or they found a better supply who can give them more. Either way, they find and use people until they have no more use for them. So in the show, he does this various times. He does it to this young kid who he takes him up as part of his wing, and this kid saves his life various times, shows him lots of loyalty. He had a chance to escape with his girlfriend, but he didn't. He stayed behind to help the penguin. He's given them plenty of loyalty, and and he just didn't appreciate it, and he ended up killing him at the end of the show. It just shows that it doesn't really matter what you do for the narcissist. You can literally take them on a private jet to an island, spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on them. The next day they'll just forget about it. It doesn't really matter what you do, whether you're a man, whether you're a woman. None of it counts. None of it counts. It only counts. It only matters what they feel at the end of the day. And if they feel they don't need you anymore, or they find a better supply, what you did in the past doesn't matter. It basically it really doesn't matter to them at all. So this is why you should never you should never go out your way to do things for a narcissist, because they will never appreciate it, and they will discard you easily. It doesn't really matter what you do in the past, no matter how much loyalty you show, no matter how much love you show. It doesn't really matter to them at the end of the day. So the next thing is a common narcissistic trait is he demands loyalty and love, friendship through fear and intimidation. So this is what it does. If you're in a relationship, they'll find things about you, they'll have a go at you, they'll shout at you for small things, and this is part of their training. They want to train you to become like them. So they want you to like everything they like. They want you to do everything they do. So it's all about them, and they will use fear, intimidation, anger. They'll use all of these traits to get what they want. So for example, if your partner doesn't like Chinese food, for example, and you take her or him to a Chinese restaurant, they will shout at you. Number one, they expect, they want you to understand them that they don't like Chinese food, and for you to get that wrong, they will shout and scream and hit you for it until you get that message. And it's not just Chinese food, it's basically anything. They expect you to know anything that they like, what they don't like, and if you get it wrong, then you are in big trouble. And they do that throughout the relationships. So at the end, if you're a man, you are completely emasculated. You feel like you're walking on eggshells. You can't do anything right, because whatever you do, you get shouted at. And it's the same for a woman as well. When she's with a male narcissist, he'll find things wrong with her. He'll destroy her self-esteem, her confidence. He'll belittle her at any opportunity. He'll put her down. He'll tell her she can't find anyone else. So it happens to both sexes, and this is a very evil manipulation tactic that the narcissists use. So number six, the next thing is manipulation, which I mentioned. But manipulation, it can be through fear, intimidation, anger, but it also can be done via guilt as well. They'll through tears. They'll try anything. If you're with a female narcissist, she'll cry fake tears to get what she wants. If it's a male narcissist, he'll find some sort of weakness that you fall for, and he'll do that. And they're very manipulative, and they'll manipulate you. They'll manipulate your friends. They'll manipulate other people. They'll lie. They'll cheat. Whatever they can to get themselves noticed, validated, admired, they'll do it. And it's a very common trait, manipulation. And the next one is demanding. They're extremely demanding for things they want. If it's a woman, she'll be extremely demanding. She'll want expensive stuff from her man, even though he can't afford it. She'll want expensive handbags. She'll want him to jump through hoops, trying to save her, trying to do things for her, pay her bills. She'll want extremely demanding things. And if it's a man, he'll want extremely demanding things from his girlfriend, whether his certain sex tasks. He might want to do certain things that you're not comfortable with. He'll be extremely demanding for that. He'll want you to do things that and you're not supposed to do as a woman. He'll want that to be done. And it's the same for a woman. She'll be extremely demanding of her partner. And in the film, you can see the penguin becoming extremely demanding from his little friend, which he kills at the end. And he almost, asks him to kill people and do these almost impossible tasks that he's never done before. And he expects them to do it without complaining and stuff like that. So they can be extremely demanding. They want and it's all for their own selfish needs, basically. It's all for just because if they can get someone to do these impossible tasks for them, they don't need to do it themselves. So it's just a way for them to kind of make their life easier, but to make other people's lives harder. And it also goes back to being selfish as well. You basically get other people to do the things you can't in terms of manipulation and other tactics, just to make your life easier. The next thing is delusional. They are extremely delusional. A lot of them live in a bubble. The women feel like they want a millionaire with a six-pack, 6 foot tall, because that's what they believe, and that's a typical narcissistic trait. And the men will also believe that they deserve top models and stuff. And even though they might not be good looking, whether you're a man or woman, they might not have good looking traits or great personalities or even money. They'll feel that they deserve the best because they live in a bubble. They are extremely delusional. They live in a bubble. They feel that they are the best. They cannot see any faults with themselves. And yeah, that's a very common narcissistic trait. They're extremely cocky, arrogant, mainly because they feel that they are the best and they are, God's gift to the earth, basically. The next thing is they are a pathological liar. All they do is lie, and they will lie to manipulate people. They'll lie to get what they want. If it's a guy, he'll lie through his teeth to get have some sex with his with a woman, and if it's a woman, she'll lie through her teeth to get a guy to do things for her. They'll keep lying, and if they get found out, they'll lie until you show them evidence right in front of the face. If you have no evidence, they'll just keep on lying, even though they're lying. If they feel that they cannot manipulate you through their lies, they'll go and find another supply. And that's how it works. Basically, they'll lie and lie and lie until you find out the truth, and they'll just go and move on to someone else. Because they rather do that than deal with it. They are very power hungry. They're very ambitious, mainly because of the huge bubble that they live in. They're very delusional. They feel that they deserve everything. They feel that they deserve the world. They are the best at everything, and this is why they're extremely ambitious. But the ambition, they get other people to do it for them rather than them doing it themselves. So whether you're a man or a woman, this is why they're extremely demanding of their partner, because they have very high ambition, but they also don't want to put in the work as well. They would rather have other people to do that work for them. And if you watch the penguin throughout the start, you will see he gets other people to do his dirty work for him. He uses manipulation tactics, lies, cheats his way to the top. He doesn't really get to the top by himself. He uses people, he uses his friends, he uses his family, he uses people against each other, and that's how he gets to the top. And this is how narcissists live. They use people to get to the top, basically. The next common trait is they're control freaks. They want to control you in every way. They want to they need that control, basically. You cannot have your own soul. You cannot have your own free will. They basically want to own you, every part of you, every part of your soul. So you cannot watch TV shows if they don't like it. You have to watch shows that they like. You have to go to restaurants that they like. You have to go to shops that they like. You have to have friends that they like. Everything is about control. They want to control every part of you. You cannot do anything without checking with them first. You cannot make any decisions without checking with them first. They have to have the final say. It's a very common trait among narcissists, and if you know a narcissist, you'll know this is the truth. They don't want you to have any free will whatsoever. Mainly because if they feel that they're losing control, they will feel like they're losing you. So for them, control is very, very important. So I've mentioned control. They are not trustworthy as well. They will stab anyone in the back to get to the top. Whether they want promotion, or whether they want some sort of validation, or they want some sort of they want something for themselves, they will stab anyone in the back to get to the top. And it doesn't really matter how much love or loyalty you show them. And throughout the show, you can see the Penguin stabbed everyone in the back that knew him. When he was a driver, he stabbed his boss's daughter in the back. And throughout the show, he used to be a snitch, and he kind of snitched his way to the top, basically. And that's why you cannot trust a narcissist. Their word, you cannot trust their word. Whatever they promise you, they will not keep to their promise, because they have no empathy. They have no consequence. So they will say things for their own selfish needs. They will never back up their words or actions, and they will never do anything for your need. They will only do it for their own needs. So, and the final thing I want to kind of talk about is their inability to control anger. They have an extreme anger issue, and this shows in the Penguin in the first episode, where he kills the boss's son, who just inherited a fortune, inherited the mobster, family business. And he kills him because the guy belittled the Penguin. He put him down, and the Penguin got angry and just shot him without thinking, without. And this is what happens with narcissists. They will just have these triggers, and they will get angry for no apparent reason, and they cannot control themselves. And this is pretty much what the Penguin has been showing in the show. They cannot control themselves. They have extreme anger. It's almost like a devil or a demon takes over them when they get extremely angry. And when they're angry, you cannot trust a narcissist when they're angry. They will do anything. They will literally kill you if they had the chance. There's a lots of stories online about how narcissists kill their partners, whether it's a man killing his partner or it's a female killing his partner. I mean, there's one particular story of a female influencer, and she was dating a black guy, and he was a crypto guru, and she was a famous YouTuber, and she got angry one day and she just stabbed him and killed him, and she was an extreme narcissist as well. So you cannot trust a narcissist. They will literally kill you. They have no control over the anger at all. They can put you in jail. They can do all sorts. They can harm you. They won't care. End of the day, they don't see you as a person. They don't. They don't have any love or empathy or care. They just see that person as an object, and they will do whatever they feel they can to that person. It really doesn't matter who it is. It can be family, it can be close friend, relationship. And that's the most dangerous thing about narcissist. Let me know if you kind of relate to all of these traits, or if you have any other traits that you want to discuss that I've not mentioned here, or if you want to kind of talk about the penguin a bit more. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys soon. Take care for now.